If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me and subscribe to me on all my other social media platforms. What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with another album review for you guys, and, well, we got another big one that just came out on the 20th of January, and that is the latest studio album from Swedish metal legends Katatonia with Sky Void of Stars. I say just metal because, well, Katatonia has been pretty much anything you could think of over the years in terms of style. You know, death doom, gothic metal, doom metal, classic metal, even a little bit as of late, prog metal, prog rock, alternative metal, alternative rock, even little hints of black metal. So yeah, they've been all over the map when it comes to metal music as a whole. So, this is their latest album, and it's on Napalm Records. And, well, Katatonia has been a band that I'm a big fan of their early stuff, their Death Doom stuff, you know, Dance of December Souls and Brave Murder Day, I think, are two classic Death Doom albums. And then after those albums, my listening habits to Katatonia have been a little wishy-washy. I did check out their album Fall of Hearts in 2016, and I thought that was a great album. Didn't check out the last album, City Burials, and also, to be honest, I need to get into, like, the 2000s era of Katatonia, like The Great Cold Distance, those kind of albums, and see where I stand with the majority of their stuff apart from the recent stuff and the early stuff. But here we have Sky Void of Stars, so yeah, first one on Napalm, and, well, let's find out how it is. So we start off with Austerity, there we go. And it has a really cool lead. Like, I will say the lead work on this album is quite tasteful. Like, you got a lot of these leads are more atmospheric and feeling than most, but you do get on quite a few of these songs some, like, classic metal shred, like, especially here on the opening track, Austerity. It has some really cool shred going on, and even, as I'm looking through my notes, songs like Author, gotta figure out how to pronounce this properly, Impermanence, there we go, Impermanence. I got it right that time. Yeah, even that song has some really cool shred, and then even the final track of the standard edition, No Beacon to Illuminate Our Fall, has a really cool shredding lead. So yeah, the lead work on this album is quite varied, but it's mostly revolving around atmosphere, feeling, and some classic metal shred to showcase that Anders Nyström is a hell of a guitarist. But yeah, with Austerity, not only that, it has sort of a classic Opeth feel with the riff work and the groove, kind of like their attempt at doing prog metal in under 4 minutes, and it was a really cool way to start the album off. Colossal Shade, the following track, has a little bit more of like a straightforward mid-tempo to it for the most part, but then you get moments where they get into this really cool rhythm that almost feels like Tool, and I know Tool has been a big influence on Katatonia's more modern output, and it definitely shows on here with these rhythms and atmospheric guitar sounds. Really, the drums were like the star of the show when it came to this song. And then Jonas Rinsk's vocals. Throughout the whole album, Jonas' vocals just sound absolutely incredible. Like, he can make you feel bad for him, like going through certain pain, or other times he'll come off like a big superhero with his vocals. Here, on Colossal Shade, at one point his vocals get rather soulful, which goes to show you how talented of a vocalist Jonas really is. Opaline and Drab Moon are two songs that kind of feel similar in terms of the way the songs are put together, as well as the ideas. Like, they both start off with, like, these cool 80s synths, which is not a bad thing, because I do like 80s pop. So they kind of brought in a little bit of an 80s pop feel on top of their songs here with Opaline and Drab Moon bringing in those synths. But on Opaline, it has more of a dramatic tension building in the background. But then when you get into the chorus, you get this like big guitar hook to add a little bit of anger, and then it calms down. And then a big dynamic shift brings us to another really cool lead. The song Birds gets a little bit faster, almost to like traditional heavy metal speed, like kind of like Iron Maiden or even Judas Priest, but it doesn't really have like the uplifting feel to it. It's still very much downtrodden, depressive, sorrowful, but there are some interesting dynamic shifts going on throughout the track. Like, it goes from being like really soothing and calm, and then you get a slightly more aggressive hook. Then back to Drab Moon, like I said, starts off with those 80s synths, but it's quite faint to kind of complement the tense yet sorrowful feels of the song as a whole. And also, not to mention, also on this song, and also on a couple of tracks later on, you get these odd time signature changes to keep with the more progressive songwriting that some of these songs bring out. The song Author has a lot of like Soen feels with the groove, and even some of the guitar work kind of reminds me of Soen. And even Jonas's voice near the beginning, he's almost borderline crooning, which is, again, another great showcase of Jonas's vocal talents. And then you get this big riff that just punches you out of nowhere, which was really cool. And then back to Impermanence, which is one of my favorite songs of the album. Starts off with this like evil harmonized melody with guitars and the mellotron, and it just feels sinister. The hooks on here are quite sad, and probably my favorite lead of the entire album comes on this track, as it has like 80s metal feels, cool shred, and then we even get, and speaking of Soen, we actually get a guest vocal spot from Joel Ikaloff from Soen, and he and Jonas together, that's like a match made in heaven right there when it comes to like vocal combinations. Perhaps the next best one would be Joel and Michael Ockerfeld. Maybe that could happen on the next Opeth album, or the next Soen album, whichever. But yeah, I really liked this track, and then Sclera brings back, again, 80 synths in the beginning, but it has more of like a synthy goth rock feel to it, kind of like a synthy Sisters of Mercy kind of feel. But then you get another really cool big hook, more odd time shifts, mellotrons throughout, and great drum work. Like I said, the drum work on this album I really liked. Like the drummers varying up fills and groove and tempo shifts. And this song has some of the coolest drum work of the entire album. Atrium, again, starting off with a cool guitar melody, and it even continues in the background throughout a good chunk of this song, and probably one of the catchier hooks and choruses of the whole album. And it has, as well as the song itself, kind of has a bit of an Amorphous feel, and I do love me some Amorphous, so that's definitely not a bad thing. And then the closing track of the Standard Edition, No Beacon to Illuminate or Fall, like I said, great shredding lead, but starts off with another great melody, but it feels more suspenseful. And then you just get big hooks with punch coming in, and more odd time shifts. And I love the tense build-up to the breakdown and a big hook. That was really cool. And more heavy riffs, guitar dive bombs, before this dynamic shift happens where they calm things down again. And on this album, they were able to do dynamic shifts quite well, with either going from like super big guitars and then it calms down, or starts off calm and then into the big guitars or big musical parts. Now, the bonus track, Absconter, one of the heavier songs of the album. It's got some heavy riffs, but you have the mellotron in the background. The bass particularly shines on this album. Like, the bass is audible, but it definitely comes through more on the bonus track, Absconter, and it's got a cool, solid groove pretty much all throughout. So overall, when it comes down to the production's quite good, though I will think some people might find it a bit too clean. Like I said, lead work, quite tasteful, Jonas' vocals were exceptional, drum work was solid with the grooves and fills, you have some catchy riffs and catchy hooks on this album, but for me, it's still missing a little more. I would like to have a little more heft in the guitars. Like, there's plenty of heft on here, but sometimes, especially whenever they're doing those 80s synth parts and the Mellotron, the guitars can get a little bit lost. But overall, this is a pretty good album. I'm giving this an 8.5 out of 10. I don't think it's as good, in my opinion, as Fall of Hearts. I can't say anything about City Burials because I haven't checked that album out, so I don't know how this album stacks up to City Burials, but it's a pretty good album. I enjoyed it for the most part. Couple of the tracks, especially that start off with those 80s synths, they could have changed them up a little bit, but that's a minor complaint. But overall, 8.5 out of 10. What did you guys think of Sky Void of Stars by Katatonia? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, horns high. See you guys later.